Hello everybody, this is Carsen Dean, Oconee County's A&R agent, and today we're going to be talking about owls.
Owls play an important role in the environment as pest management professionals. They provide a free organic option to rodent control and can make a great addition to a farm's integrated pest management program. But how do we get them to stick around? Wildlife need food, water, and shelter. Our rodent problem can provide the food, and nearby streams or farm ponds can provide the water. But to get an owl to stay on site long term, they need shelter options. This includes well-managed forests for roosting and hunting, but also places to raise their young. If there aren't suitable nesting locations nearby, we can build some instead.
So today I'm going to show you how to make a great horned owl nesting cone. Great horned owls don't make their own nest. Instead, they use nests left over by hawks or crows or other birds. So if we want a great horned owl nesting on our property to help take care of pest management issues, we're going to need to provide them that nest if there's not already an old nest around. So to start today, we have our supplies that we've collected. First, we have a 3-foot by 3-foot square of chicken wire or some kind of mesh. Then we have another 3-foot by 3-foot square of landscape cloth or fabric. We have some thin wiring to help stick some of our sticks in. Speaking of our sticks, we have a large collection of sticks in varying sizes, our largest being about the size of the cone that we're going to make. We also have a bucket to help hold our shape as we're working. In terms of actual tools, we have something to help cut our wire, something to help cut our sticks, and then something to help bend our wire around, and something to help cut our fabric. So to start, what we're going to do is we're going to take our piece of mesh, and we have made a diagonal cut about to the center. This will allow us to bend it like so, making a cone shape. So you're going to have a nice overlap. So you're going to have about 3 corners on this. You're going to use your bucket to help hold the shape in place while you're working. And then you are going to be able to take your extra pieces of wire that happen when you cut it, and you're going to be able to bend it around to help maintain that shape. So we're just going for a loose cone shape. It's going to be about 2 feet across whenever we get done with it. All right, so we have our wire cone all bent and secured by using its own edges. We're going to put that into the bucket, and then we're going to take our piece of landscape fabric, and as you can see, we already cut our diagonal in there. You're also going to want to cut a little extra in the center, so that way when you put it in the cone, it's going to create a little opening that's going to allow for drainage. So we're going to set that in the cone just like we did. I'm going to shape it just like we did with the wire, and don't worry about securing it completely right now. Whenever we start adding the sticks, we're going to use wire ties and punch through the landscape fabric to stick the sticks in the cone, and it's going to help also hold our landscape fabric in place. Because of the wind, I went ahead and tacked down the corners here, but as you can see, we have our landscape fabric cone in, and you can see that there is a small gap at the bottom, which will allow for drainage. With our fabric in place, our next step is we're going to use 6 sticks about the same length as the cone. Our longest sticks are going to be at the points. We are going to lay them in the cone like spokes on a wheel. And then we are going to wire them in place, punching through the landscape fabric and twisting them with a piece of wire around the wire mesh. I've got my first stick in, and we're just going to repeat that on all the corners, and then 3 sticks along the outside edges here. Now we've got our 6 stoats in place. We are going to start filling in the nest. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to work our way from the bottom upwards. We're going to start with kind of a platform or raft shape at the bottom to create a more flat surface. So you can interweave the sticks around the spokes. If some of them are not working, you always have your wire that you can use to help hold them in place. But you are just going to use a variety of small size sticks to create a base at the bottom of the nest. Once you have your base in, you can use softer materials like pine straw, pine needles, leaves, straw, things like that to help fill in the gaps and also create a softer bottom. Because remember, we're trying to mimic an old nest, and birds would naturally start to fill in those cracks for insulation as well as to make it a bit softer. We're going to use leaves today because that's just what we have on hand. And you are just going to shove your soft material in the gaps and create a little bit more of a soft base. With our base done, we're going to start working on the walls. Similar with the base, we're just going to weave and place our sticks, starting with the smallest size, up the walls to help hold that cone shape. Again, we're mimicking an old nest that's been sitting there, so it doesn't have to be perfect. We just want it to have a good amount of insulation and a good shape. As you work up the walls, you might get to a point where gravity is not going to help you. In those cases, you can start wiring in your wall pieces and attaching them to your spokes here. But the base part is a little more rounded, so these sticks tend to want to stay where I put them. But as I move up the wall, I'm going to need to start wiring a couple of pieces in to help hold them in place, especially as great horned owls are very large birds. So their weight and moving around plus gravity might cause our walls to collapse, and we want to avoid that when possible. The last thing that you can do before you're ready to hang is go along the edges and fold back any sharp pieces, any overhang wire that might get pointy. Just clean it up a bit. If you want, you can use those sharp pieces to help hold down your flapping landscape cloth. But mostly you just want it so that there's no sharp edges that a bird could get hit on. Okay, Our cone is almost complete and it's about ready to hang. When you go to hang, you might want to bring some extra sticks and extra leaves or filler with you because this is pretty mobile. The wire is pretty flexible, so you're going to be able to wedge it in the tree where you want it. You might find that there are new gaps, so you might need some extra filler or extra sticks to fill those gaps as you're bending this in place.
With our nesting cone complete, it's time to hang it. Great horned owls prefer nesting in large, living hardwood trees. Choose a tree that's at least 12 inches in diameter and hang the nest between 15 and 45 feet off the ground. That's pretty high up, so it's best to contact a local arborist who has the right equipment to install the cone safely. If you plan on putting up more than one nesting cone, make sure they're placed at least 1.5 miles apart. Great horned owls are territorial and don't like having other owls nearby. In fact, they sometimes prey on smaller owl species, like eastern screech owls, so you shouldn't hang both types of nests in the same area. Great horned owls nest from late winter to midsummer, so it's best to hang your cone in the fall or early winter. That way it'll be ready when nesting season begins. Once it's up, be patient. It may take time for the owls to find and use it, but with a little luck, your nesting cone will attract a pair of these incredible birds, giving you a free, organic form of pest control right in your own backyard. And since great horned owls are very loyal to their nesting sites, you may have them around for years to come.